Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. You guys sent us tons of stuff about B2B transactions and EDI this time around, so get ready because we're going to unpack all of it.
It's pretty amazing, actually. B2B and EDI, I mean. They're like the hidden engine running everything we buy and use every day.
Absolutely. We're talking retail giants, healthcare systems, manufacturers, you name it. But before we go too far, let's back up a sec. For anyone who's not living and breathing business jargon, could you break down what B2B actually is? And how is it different from B2C? We hear that one all the time, too.
Sure, B2B just stands for business to business, and it's pretty much what it sounds like, right? It's all the transactions and interactions that happen between companies instead of between a business and, like, individual customers, which is your B2C. So think about a factory ordering a whole bunch of steel to build cars. That's B2B. You grabbing a coffee on your way to work, that's B2C.
Okay, makes sense. So B2B is the behind-the-scenes stuff, the big-picture transactions that keep entire industries going. But where does EDI fit into all of this?
So EDI, or electronic data interchange, is like the digital messenger that makes all those B2B transactions happen smoothly and quickly. Instead of having tons of paperwork, invoices, purchase orders, all that gets sent electronically, and importantly, in a standardized format.
So kind of like email, but way more organized and efficient for businesses.
Exactly. It's not just about sending a file randomly. It's about making sure that different computer systems, no matter what software they're using, can all understand each other, like a universal language for business.
Gotcha. No more lost orders or delays because someone's using the wrong file type or whatever.
Okay.
Especially when you've got these huge companies dealing with massive orders and complex supply chains. That's got to be a lifesaver.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, one of the articles you sent had a case study about a clothing company. Before they switched to EDI, they were constantly dealing with errors because everything was entered manually. So many delays, frustrated customers, the whole 9 yards. But once they implemented EDI, boom. Order accuracy shot up to almost 100%, and processing time was cut in half.
Wow, that's seriously impressive. So we're not just talking about making things easier here. EDI is straight up saving companies time and money.
Streamlining, basically. The entire process gets faster and more efficient, and that has ripple effects everywhere. It impacts the businesses, the suppliers, and eventually even us, the consumers.
And speaking of impact, one of the things that really stood out to me from these articles is just how many different industries are using EDI these days. I mean, yeah, we've talked about retail and manufacturing, but it goes way beyond that.
For sure. EDI is everywhere. Healthcare providers use it to streamline patient records and insurance claims. The auto industry relies on it for managing their inventory, making sure that parts arrive right when they need them on the assembly line. Even governments are using EDI for things like customs declarations and taxes.
Wow, okay. So this is clearly a super versatile technology, but EDI hasn't just appeared overnight, right? It's been around for a while. What I'm curious about is, where is it going? What does the future of EDI look like?
And that's where things get really interesting. One of the biggest trends we're seeing is the integration of AI, artificial intelligence, into EDI systems.
AI, man, that's a buzzword we hear everywhere these days.
Yeah.
But how does it actually work with something like EDI?
Think of AI as the super-powered analyst going through mountains of EDI data to find patterns and trends that humans might miss. So it can predict future demand for products, which helps businesses avoid running out of stock. Or it can look at shipping routes and identify potential problems before they happen so companies can adapt and keep things moving.
Whoa, that's some next-level stuff. Basically, AI is taking EDI from being reactive to being proactive, helping businesses stay ahead of the game.
Exactly. And it's not just about efficiency either. AI can help companies make better decisions overall, from negotiating prices with suppliers to finding new markets to tap into.
I'm starting to see why you said this is where things get really interesting. But before we get too lost in the future, let's take a step back and look at how EDI works in practice right now.
Good idea. Because you got to understand the nuts and bolts before you can really appreciate how powerful this technology can be.
And, you know, we love getting into the nuts and bolts here, so let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered the basics. EDI is this awesome system that connects businesses digitally, making all those transactions happen smoothly. But I'm guessing it's not as easy as just like hitting send on an email, right? How do companies actually implement EDI? What does that look like?
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely not one size fits all. There are different approaches or you could say flavors to EDI implementation.
Flavors. Okay, now I'm intrigued. Lay it on me. What kind of EDI flavors are we talking about?
Well, one common approach is called point-to-point EDI. This is like a direct connection between two businesses. It's custom built for their specific needs, which makes it a good option for companies that have, a limited number of trading partners and pretty consistent types of transactions.
So kind of like a dedicated phone line, but instead of calls, it's for business documents.
Exactly. It's a great option for smaller scale operations that want to keep things simple. But you can probably imagine it doesn't really scale well when you're talking about hundreds or even thousands of partners.
Yeah, that would be a total mess of digital phone lines for sure. So what about those companies with massive networks? What's their solution?
That's where value-added networks, or VANs, come in. Think of it like a central hub, a post office for electronic documents. So instead of having all those direct connections, companies can just send their EDI messages through the VAN, and the VAN takes care of routing it to the right recipient.
Ah, so it's like having a super reliable middleman who makes sure all the deliveries get to the right place and everything stays safe and secure.
You got it.
Yeah.
VANs provide that reliability and security for managing a large network of partners. Plus, they can offer additional services like data translation, so even if companies are using different EDI standards, everything still works smoothly.
Okay, so point-to-point for simplicity, vans for the big leagues. Any other EDI flavors out there?
Well, in recent years, web-based EDI, or cloud EDI, has become super popular. Basically, it's EDI as a service delivered over the internet, kind of like email. You don't need to set up your own server or anything. You just access it through a web browser.
The cloud. Of course. Everything's going there these days. What are the benefits of using cloud EDI?
The biggest ones are probably accessibility and affordability. The cloud providers handle all the technical stuff, so it's much easier and cheaper for companies to implement, especially smaller businesses that might not have a huge IT budget.
That makes sense. No need to invest in tons of expensive hardware and software upfront. Seems like a game changer for businesses dipping their toes into the EDI world.
For sure, cloud EDI has really opened up access to this technology. Plus, it's really scalable. As your business grows, you can easily adjust your usage without having to overhaul your whole system.
This is all super interesting.
Hmm.
Remember earlier when we were talking about the future of EDI and all this cool stuff happening with AI and blockchain?
Hmm.
How do those technologies fit into these different EDI approaches? Do they work with all of them?
That's a great question, and the short answer is yes. AI is being integrated into pretty much all types of EDI solutions, regardless of whether it's point-to-point, van-based, or cloud-based. It's really about adding that layer of intelligence to automate tasks, analyze data, and help businesses make smarter decisions.
So AI is like a universal booster shot for EDI, making it even more powerful and efficient no matter how you're using it.
Exactly. For example, AI can automatically catch errors in EDI documents, predict potential delays in shipments, or even suggest better pricing strategies. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
And what about blockchain? We hear about it all the time with crypto, but how does it apply to EDI?
Well, with blockchain, it's all about boosting security and transparency. It creates this unchangeable record of every transaction, which makes it practically impossible to mess with the data.
So like a digital notary for every EDI document, basically, guaranteeing that it's authentic and hasn't been tampered with.
Exactly. This is especially valuable in industries where trust is paramount, like healthcare and finance. You need that extra layer of security.
Okay, so AI for intelligence, blockchain for security. Sounds like EDI is getting a serious upgrade.
It's an ever-evolving landscape. That's what makes it so fascinating to follow. As new technologies come along, they get incorporated into EDI, which makes it even more powerful and versatile.
All this talk about businesses and tech is great, but, I think it's time we brought things down to earth a bit.
Yeah.
How does all of this actually affect, the average person, someone who's not dealing with B2B transactions every day?
That's a fair point. It's easy to think about B2B and EDI as something that happens in this separate corporate world, but in reality, it has a huge impact on all of our lives.
Okay, I'm all ears. How so?
Just think about it. Every single product you buy, every service you use, from the food you eat to the clothes you wear, it all gets to you through a complex supply chain. And those supply chains are built on a foundation of B2B transactions, facilitated by EDI.
So it's like the hidden infrastructure of our modern world. It's working quietly in the background, making sure everything runs smoothly.
Exactly. EDI is the unsung hero, making sure that goods and services flow efficiently from manufacturers to retailers to consumers. It keeps the shelves stocked, the deliveries on time, and the prices competitive.
Wow, I never really thought about it that way. So next time I'm shopping online or at the grocery store, I should be thinking about all the intricate B2B interactions happening behind the scenes, making it all possible.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating web of interconnectedness, and EDI is the thread that weaves it all together.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. B2B and EDI, they're not just abstract business concepts. They're the engine driving our entire economy and shaping our daily experiences.
And as these technologies continue to evolve, their impact on our lives is only going to get bigger.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground here, from the fundamentals of B2B and EDI to all the different ways to implement it, to the crazy exciting future with AI and blockchain. But I'm sure there's even more to explore, right?
Always. And what better way to really understand the power of EDI than to look at some specific examples of how it's being used in different industries?
Perfect. Let's do that. We'll dive into some fascinating case studies that show the real-world impact of EDI. Okay, so case studies. Let's see how EDI is actually playing out in the real world.
Yeah, let's do it. There are tons of examples, but let's start with one that pretty much everyone interacts with every day: retail. I mean, think about a company like Amazon. They're like the kings of e-commerce, right? Processing millions of orders every single day. And EDI is a huge part of how they handle that insane volume.
Yeah, I can't even imagine the logistics of it all without a system like EDI. Keeping track of all the different products, the suppliers, the deliveries, it'd be absolute chaos.
Oh, totally. It would be a nightmare. Amazon uses EDI to automate almost every step of the process. From the second you click Buy Now to when that package shows up on your doorstep, EDI is working behind the scenes, making sure everything runs smoothly.
So it's not just about placing the orders, it's about making sure those orders get fulfilled the right way, that the inventory gets updated, that shipments are tracked, all in real time.
Exactly. It's a constant flow of information, connecting Amazon with their suppliers and their shipping partners. And this level of efficiency benefits everyone, right? Amazon streamlines their operations, suppliers get paid faster, and customers get their stuff quickly and without any mix-ups.
A true win-win-win situation.
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch gears and look at another industry where EDI is making waves.
Yeah.
Healthcare.
Yeah.
From the research you sent me, it seems like EDI is really changing the game there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The healthcare industry has always been bogged down with paperwork. It's really inefficient. But EDI is helping to fix that, streamlining things, reducing errors. And at the end of the day, it's leading to better care for patients.
Can you give me a concrete example of how that actually works?
Sure. Let's say you go to the doctor, and they need to submit an insurance claim for the visit. Before EDI, that would mean filling out tons of paperwork and then waiting forever for it to get processed. But with EDI, the claim can be submitted electronically instantly.
No more lost claims or waiting weeks for reimbursement. That's a huge win for everyone involved.
Huge. And it's not just insurance claims. EDI is being used to check if someone's covered by their insurance, to share patient records between doctors, even to order prescriptions.
Wow, so EDI is really touching almost every aspect of the healthcare system.
It is, and it's having a big impact, lowering costs, improving accuracy, and like I said, leading to better quality of care for patients.
Amazing. Okay, one more industry I want to touch on, automotive. Earlier, you were talking about how car manufacturers use EDI to handle their super complex supply chains. Can you paint a picture of what that looks like in action?
Sure, think of a company like Toyota. They're one of the biggest car manufacturers in the world, right? And they have this huge network of suppliers making parts for their vehicles. Coordinating all of that is a massive job. But with EDI, they can automate things like purchase orders, track shipments, and even manage their inventory levels in real time.
So it's like having a super efficient air traffic control system for car parts, making sure everything gets where it needs to be exactly when it's needed.
Exactly. That just-in-time inventory system, made possible by EDI, is crucial for a company like Toyota to operate. They can avoid waste, minimize storage costs, and keep production moving smoothly.
This has been an incredibly eye-opening deep dive, I gotta say. We've gone deep on the fundamentals of B2B and EDI. We've looked at different ways to implement it, and we've even seen how it's transforming real businesses across different industries.
I agree. It's been great exploring all of this with you. And as you continue learning about this stuff, I encourage you to really think about the bigger picture. EDI is more than just a technical system. It's a fundamental part of how modern business works. It's connecting companies in ways we've never seen before and shaping the world around us.
That's an awesome point. The world of B2B and EDI is constantly changing and evolving, and it's an exciting journey to be a part of. And on that note, we'll wrap up this episode of The Deep Dive. Until next time, keep exploring and keep learning.